exercise really help with depression? Stay tuned to find out some answers. I want to start by telling you a story. Once upon a time there was a man who was so depressed and had such a low mood that he couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. So some of his friends one day decided to try and help him and suggested that maybe he'd come along with them to go for a walk up a hill and get some aerobic exercise, get his heart pumping to see if it made a difference. But he had no energy or motivation to do so, so he refused. And his friends didn't give up. Day after day they'd come knocking at his door until eventually the man said that he would go with them. So each day they would do the same thing, knock on his door and ask if he would go with him, and he did. And every day they walked for a little bit longer, and the man was quite happy to go along with them. And eventually it came to the stage where he actually quite enjoyed meeting up with them, and found that without him even knowing it or thinking about it very much, his mood was lifting, and he came out of his cloud of depression to the point where actually he would get up in the morning before they arrived and make a pot of coffee for them all to enjoy before they went on their walk. So I'm telling you that story just because to demonstrate the power of exercise. Exercise has been shown in many trials to help people to lift their moods and overcome depression. It can even prevent the onset of depression and then help people to stop them going back into depression once they've had it. So it has got some very powerful effects. But like with most things, it doesn't work for everyone. But the trials that have been conducted and anecdotal evidence suggests that it does work for most people. But how do you get into exercise when you're feeling depressed? It's difficult because you don't have the motivation, you don't want to get out of bed. So you need to take baby steps, even if it's just getting out of bed and walking around the house, for example, or walking up and down the garden, depending on where you live. If you've got a dog, that's a great thing, because the dog will probably help you to get up and take it for a walk because it needs that or wants that. I find that I've got two dogs, and one of them is particularly demanding and looks at me sort of, if he hasn't had a walk, it just sort of starts whining, and that gets me out and to take him for a walk. And as I've told you before, I suffer from depression as well. I have done on and off for many years, and a strategy that I've always found to help me has been to exercise. And I've noticed that when I've stopped doing that, my mood can dip quite quickly. At the moment, I tend to go for walks twice a day with the dogs, and I'm a member of the gym. I don't do it religiously. I should do it more often, but I find that working as I do, sort of freelance and having children, I don't stick to a routine, which I'm trying to work towards. Hopefully that will happen. But if you can do that, that's the optimum. And going back to trying to get motivated to go and exercise, it often helps if you have someone to do it with. As we said in the story at the beginning, this man had some really good friends who would knock on his door and get him to go walking with them. And if you can find a friend that you can go to the gym with, or just for a walk, even if you go just for a coffee and walk to the place where you're going to have a coffee, that would be a great start. So little steps, and once you start to do it, you'll notice the difference, and hopefully you can increase the distance and the form of exercise. And it doesn't always have to be exercise that gets your heart pumping. Non-aerobic activity has also shown to help depression, whether it be sort of weightlifting or even sort of climbing up and down the stairs. It's just worth doing something, moving around. And if you're in a position where you can't use your legs, then there are other exercises that you can have, from sitting down. So there are options for that too. And how much exercise are we supposed to have? Well, in the UK, there are some guidelines that say that we should do 150 minutes per week. That's if you're an adult, ranging from the ages of, I think it's 19 to 64, something like that. And you can do that in installments of, say, 30 minutes a day, or it depends how you want, what fits in with your lifestyle. But it's 150 minutes a week is the suggestion. And that's more if you're younger as well, that you're supposed to be doing an hour a day. But going back to what you can manage, it's more about what works for you. Even if it's sort of 10 minutes a day, it doesn't matter. You just a little bit of exercise will help. Maybe doing the maximum is going to be the best, but it doesn't really matter. Just get started and then increase it gradually and see how you feel. And also, if you don't feel confident exercising and you haven't done it for a long time, you can go to, in the UK, you can go to your doctor and get exercise on prescription. Isn't that great? So you can potentially get some exercise for free. So why does exercise help us to feel better and lift our mood? Well, by exercising, we do release endorphins and other neurotransmitters in the brain, which help to lift our mood. Serotonin and dopamine are quite well known for doing that, and also endorphins help with pain and stress. And of course, the other added benefit of exercising is that it makes us tired, so then we sleep better, and having sleep issues can be a problem with depression. So I hope that's helped, and I hope it's motivated you in some way to try exercise. I say take it one step at a time. Leave comments here and let us know how you get on and what's helped you to get exercising if you weren't exercising before, and if you're exercising, how it helps you and how much you do. All these answers to these questions would be amazing to hear and share. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. Thank you very much. Until the next time, take care. Ty. My dogs are wonderful, aren't they? They love to interrupt my train of thought. Don't have to make you depressed.